Hi everyone, this is Mariana, and today I'm going to talk to you about the books that I plan on reading in the month of September. Now, this is very much subject to change. I take this TBR as a suggestion rather than something I have to stick to because I'm very much of a mood reader, but I'm pretty sure I'll end up getting to most of these because I'm very much excited for them. And yeah, let's get started. First of all, there is one book that I really want to read this month. This is the book that, whatever happens, I need to finish this because I've been reading it for way too long and I've been putting it off and getting terrified and not going through with it. And it is It by Stephen King. And as you can see, it's kind of big. Like, this is my head. This is the book. It is just that big. It's 1,200 pages long, I think. 1,100 pages long. It could kill a person. Like, you could actually throw it at someone and hurt them. And as you all probably know, this tells the story of a bunch of kids who live in the town of Derry. And they have to face all sorts of evil, both in the form of the humans who live in the town of Derry and in the form of this entity that they call It, and that sometimes manifests in the shape of a clown called Pennywise. And we follow them as kids and we follow them as adults 20 something years later, going back to Derry to try and finish It once and for all. And this is really good. Like, don't get me wrong, this is very good. Though it's huge, it's a very compelling read. I'm actually more than halfway through and you would keep turning pages and trying to find out what happens, but it's also really scary. And the scariest part isn't even Pennywise. The scariest part are the people in it. Like, there's a reason why Derry was picked by Pennywise to manifest itself in, and it is that the people in Derry are particularly cruel and insensitive and prejudiced, and a lot of horrible things happen there, in part because of It, because of Pennywise, and in part because people are just terrible. And I think that's the scariest part. Like, when Pennywise shows up, he doesn't show up all the time in the book, but when he does, it's very scary. However, the parts that terrify me the most are the ones with, say, the bully who cuts his initial in another kid's tummy and stuff like that. So, yeah, I kept reading this. First of all, it's not an easy book to carry around, but I would constantly, read 5 or 6 chapters and stop because I wanted a lighter read. But this is so good. This is so exciting. It's actually the heaviest stuff I've read from Stephen King so far. And I need to finish this. It's been way too long. I've been putting it off, and I've read a billion books since I started this, and it's about damn time. I have to finish this. And we're getting to October, so I want to read a lot more Stephen King in October. And for that, I want to be done with It. So yeah, if I read nothing else this month, I read this one. The next book I have on my TBR is The Widow by Fiona Barton. This tells a story of a woman who, once married, once her husband was alive, she had to lie to sort of cover up this crime he was accused of. She was compelled by him to omit certain facts from the police in order to help him defend himself. And now that he's dead, she wonders, do I keep defending him or do I come out with the truth? And it's very interesting. I've started reading this and I'm halfway through, though I think the format is a bit weird, but I'll talk about that on my wrap-up. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It sounds like a thriller, but it doesn't read like a thriller. It's a weird one, but yeah, I'm excited to finish this. And it's a very fast read, so I'll probably finish this today. I wanted to include this on my August wrap-up, but it didn't finish in time. So I guess I'm gonna have to wait to review this in the end of September. Sorry. Another book that I plan on reading in the month of September is the oldest book in my physical TBR, and it is Tell No One by Harlan Coben. This has been on my TBR since, I can tell you the precise date because it was given to me as a gift, since the 5th of September of 2008. It was given to me as a birthday present. Not sure if you can you see it? Probably not, right? I don't know how this stuff happens. But yeah, this was given to me as a birthday present, and I'm very sorry I still haven't read it. But we're gonna get to it soon. And it's a thriller. It should be super fast to read, but yeah, I don't know why I never got around to it. This tells a story of a guy whose wife disappeared, and he's still not over it. She disappeared a day at the lake. She was abducted, from what I got from this. And he has not given up on trying to find her, though a good time has passed. People keep telling him, dude, get over it, you need to follow your life. And one day, all this time afterwards, he opens his computer to find a message written in it that only he and his wife could possibly know, which leads him to believe that she is alive. However, the message also comes with a warning: tell no one. So what do? Do you try and find your wife, whom you believe to be alive? Or do you follow this warning? Maybe you're going to only harm her if you try and find her. So yeah, that's the premise, and it honestly sounds interesting. This is actually very high rated on Goodreads, and I've heard great things of Harlan Coben. I find this name so tricky. Apparently also his books are being turned into a bunch of series or movies for Netflix. So yeah, and I think this has a movie. I'm not sure, but I plan on getting to this, and it's a thriller, so it should be fast and should not get in the way of my finishing it this month. The next book I want to read in the month of September is a book that actually came out this year, and it is The Hazy Wood by Melissa Albert. This is young adult fantasy, and it has one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen. Like, look at this. Not sure if you can see it, but there's golden foil in it. It's so pretty. This tells the story of a girl whose grandmother used to write all sorts of dark fairy tales, and she has this huge cult following. And the girl's mother disappears. Not her grandmother, her mother disappears. And it seems that in order to find out where her mother is, to find out what happened to her mother, she will have to get into the Hazy Wood and find out what happens. That's the only clue her mother left her. Which means she'll have to actually get acquainted with her grandmother's fairy tales. And in order to do that, she is joined by a fellow student, a classmate of hers, who is a huge fan of her grandmother's stories. And I've heard it's very urban fantasy-ish. It's very much set in an urban world and not like in the actual woods. And I've heard it has a very unlikable main character, which is not a problem with me. So I'm interested to find out. Like, a lot of people hate this, and a lot of people very much love it. So I really want to see what I think of it. This has been on my TBR, on my physical TBR since the beginning of the year, I think, and it's about damn time I get to it. Last but not least, another book from my physical TBR, because apparently I don't read on my Kindle anymore, and that is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This cover makes me crazy. It looks like this optical illusion, and I'm just, it makes me nervous. The spine is the same. This tells a story. This is sort of a thriller mixed with sci-fi. It tells a story of a guy who woke up to find that his life is actually completely different from what he remembers. He's married to a different person. He has children or doesn't have children. Yeah, he doesn't have children. Like, his entire life is different. He used to be this sort of very common professor. Like, he hadn't accomplished much. He was just a teacher, and now he's this sort of genius who has made incredible breakthroughs, scientific breakthroughs, and he's desperate to find out which of his lives is true, whether this one or the one that he so clearly remembers. It sounds really interesting. I know that Emily from, I think it's Books with Emily, she really likes this, and Blake Crouch has been recommended in so many lists already that I think it's about time I pick this up. Also, it's a beautiful edition. Not sure if you can see, but yeah, it's really pretty. And yeah, apparently I have a theme this month, which is books in black and orange. Like, I'm very thematic, and it's not even Halloween yet. But yeah, these are the books I plan on reading in the month of September. Please let me know what you guys want to read this month, and if there's any of these books that you were interested in. And I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!